Good morning, my cuties. I'm so happy to see you. I am feeling great this morning. I woke up, drank a lot of water, I did my workout, and now I'm drinking a very healthy breakfast smoothie with fruits and vegetables. So I am feeling just ready to take on the day, even if it's from my own apartment. So remember that when you watch this video or the content of this video, I am going to be giving the answers to the questions that we're working on. So make sure that you do the work independently and then check in on the content with the questions. Today is Tuesday, March 17th, which is also St. Patrick's Day. So happy St. Patrick's Day. Make sure you get some greens in your body. The shortcut date is 3/17/20. On the agenda for today, you have your morning work, where you have that standard algorithm review from our interim that we've already taken. And then you also have the solid figures on the back. Where you're doing our math workbook, pages 4, 5, and 6, 3 pages a day. ELA, we're reading the text only in New Zealand. Math story 8.1, trading cards. So if you aren't done with that work, go ahead and pause the video, work independently. It's totally okay if you get questions wrong, but then at least you know what you are capable of on your first shot. So as promised, we're gonna start our video series with a lesson from Be the Sun, Not the Salt. So let's dive in. Today the lesson is lesson 16, Speak Fluent Gratitude. The research is clear. Cultivating gratitude makes you and the people around you feel better. It feels good to be around people who are grateful rather than those who act like they are entitled. It feels good to be around people who express their gratitude. It feels good to be around people who see opportunities to be grateful for their circumstances, not just grateful for their stuff. I am happy to be here. We are inspired when we are around people who see silver linings in dark clouds. All of us have moment-to-moment choices: to complain about what we don't have or don't want, or to accept and embrace what we have and make the best of it. We can reframe anything that first appears negative to us. Instead of saying, "Ugh, I've got to," say, "I get to." From "I have to go to work" to "I get to go to work." From "Ugh, I have to go to the gym" to "I get to go to the gym." It sounds simple because it is. That's the beauty of moving from got to get to. It moves us from salt on our roots to sun on our leaves. But what about those times when you face real hardship? Personal tragedy, despair. My advice is to take each moment at a time. Remember the bright moments that come in your way. Celebrate little victories. Small blessings can add up to a much more positive state of mind. Practice cultivating gratitude in your own way. You don't have to write a gratitude journal or make a big deal out of it, but cultivate gratitude while waiting in line, while walking the dog, while commuting to work, or just doing nothing. I think that's really important for us today. Obviously, we'd rather be in school, being able to be with each other and our family, but I'm so grateful for technology of today and that we can connect via video, that we were able to print resources for you guys. So maybe if you have some time today with your family, think about doing a self-love session like we do usually at school, and say one thing that you love about yourself and one thing that you're grateful for. Awesome. So as promised, I'm trying to make this video more concise than yesterday. So instead of doing the work while I'm recording myself, I did the work already, and I'm going to share the answers with you. So the morning work this morning, this was a review sheet that we did on our interim 2. The first one says, what is the missing number? The number is the box on the answer, and it says 263, take away 115, take away 36. So we know that strong mathematicians could possibly stack all of these on top of each other, but we're not going to take risks because we know that doing one at a time is going to be probably more successful in terms of precision, right? So you can see here that I made sure to stack my numbers 2, 6, and 3 over my 1, 1, and 5 according to place value. So I spaced my numbers apart perfectly, and I made sure that I have enough room. When I was asking myself, can I take 5 away from 3, I thought about if I had 3 Skittles in my hand, could I take 5 away? No, that's not possible, so I had to borrow from my neighbor. Borrowed a 10 from the 6, take away 1 10 stick becomes 5 10 sticks. Then I did 13 minus 5 equals 8. The 5 minus 1 equals 4. 2 minus 1 equals 148. Great. But we're not done yet because the question's asking us to subtract 36 from that. So I, again, lined up my numbers by place value. Make sure that you're lining up the ones place, the tens place, and the hundreds place. I think about, can I take 6 away from 8? If I had 8 Skittles in my hand, could I take 6 away? Absolutely. I would have 2 left. 4 minus 3 is 1, and 1 minus nothing is 1. The answer is 112. So it looks like the video might show it backwards. I'm not sure if it shows it backwards for you guys as well, but the answer is 112. Remember that the second question is asking, what is the sum of 376 and 345? So the first thing that you should think about is, what is a sum? What is the vocabulary of a sum? Remember that sum is the answer to an addition problem. Same thing, I need to start in the ones place. Whenever we're doing standard algorithm, we always have to start in the ones place. 6 plus 5 equals 11. 1 on the bottom, 1 on the top. 7 plus 4 plus 1, so it's 7 plus 5 equals 12. 2 on the bottom, 1 on the top. 3 plus 3 plus that 1, don't forget, is 7. Your answer is 721. So that's the front side of your morning work. And on the back, we haven't really learned much, to be honest, about solid 3D figures. However, the key is up for you at the top. For some reason, the sphere is missing, so hopefully if you have any questions about what that looks like, your parent would be able to help you. It's a 3D circle, just like a soccer ball, basketball, etc. So we have our answers here. The paint can is a cylinder. Soccer ball is a sphere. The cereal box is a cube. The tent is a pyramid. The F block is a cube. The cone is a cone. The soup can is a cylinder, the party hat is a cone, and the globe is a sphere. So I hope that the morning work went well for you today. If you didn't get anything on the front side correct, please look at your place value. Look at to make sure that you added all the numbers correctly. And then if you have any other questions, I'm going to be on my computer from 4 to 5, so you can ask me any questions then. Let's dive into our math book, pages 4, 5, and 6. So when I send the email with this link to the video, I'm going to try to send an elapsed time mini lesson video of some sort, because we haven't learned much about it in 3rd grade, but we actually did review it in 2nd grade quite a bit in preparation for the NWEA. So elapsed time means if I'm given a time and I'm given an end time, for example, so how much time is there in between, okay? One of the keys to being successful with elapsed time is making sure that you're using strong and friendly numbers, so make sure that you look out for that when we go over that section of the work, okay? Also, for these videos, make sure that your materials are all out in front of you, all the things that you've completed. That way, when I'm going over the answers, you can just pull them out and look at them with me. So page 4, ooh, I love this one. I read this question. It says, the scale below shows the mass of 1 apple in grams. And my first thought was, oh no, we haven't learned grams. We haven't learned that yet. How on earth are my kitties going to be able to figure this out? Then I took a breath and said, okay, what do I know? And I noticed that all you have to do is be able to read the scale. The arrow on the scale is directly pointing to 250, so I know that it's just asking me to identify what number it's pointing to, because the scale is in grams and you're measuring in grams, so you're not asked to do any conversions of any kind. So your answer is A, 250 grams. Number 6 says, which equations would be true if the box is replaced by 7? So as a strong mathematician, I'm going to solve for every single one of these answer choices, because I don't want to do any math in my head, because strong mathematicians always do the work, never do the math in their head. So I did 7 times 6 equals 42, slash the trash. 63 divided by 7 equals 9, that works, so I did circle B. C, 9 times 7 equals 45. And I know that that is not true, so I slash the trash for C. And D, 42 divided by 6 equals 7, I know is true. So your answers are B and D. All right, moving on to the elapsed time. Now, this could have been difficult for you, so the best thing to do is use friendly numbers to get you to a comfortable hour and minute slot, okay? So, for example, it says part A. Are you with me looking at your paper? Because obviously I don't have an Elmo to present on, so make sure you're looking at your work as I'm reading. The students in Alicia's class leave their school at 8 o'clock. It takes them 70 minutes to get to the crayon factory. Do they arrive in time for the tour? Explain how you know. So I'm going to show you what I started with. I started with the start time at 8 o'clock. I know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. So I added 60 minutes, you can see my elapsed time here, which would get me to 9 o'clock. 8 o'clock plus 1 hour, or 60 minutes, is 9 o'clock. Then I added an additional 10. The reason why I started with 60 is because that's friendly, and I know I can easily get from 8 o'clock, not easily, simply get from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. plus another 10 minutes. So now I have my elapsed time 60 plus 10 is 70. So I know that they arrive at 9:10. If the doors open at 9:20, which I wrote on the side here to help me remember, I know that the answer is yes, they did make it on time because they arrived at 9:10, which is earlier than 9:20. The tour guide arrives at 9:35 and spends 12 minutes talking to the teachers before starting the tour. What time does the tour guide start the tour? So again, I want you to watch how I used friendly numbers to help me get to the solution. So instead of just trying to add 12 and possibly getting a precision error, I started with 9:35 plus 10 because that's friendly for me and I know that's going to get me to 9:45. Then I can add an additional 2. So you see these highlighted pieces here are my elapsed time and that gets me to 9:47. The next one says that the time the tour spends talking to the teachers and giving the tour lasts 2 hours and 23 minutes. What time does the tour end? Whew, this one was a doozy because I had to think about hours and minutes here. So I know that 9:47 plus 2 hours is going to get me to 11:47. So my elapsed time is here, the 2 hours. Then I broke the minutes up into 3 and to 20. And I want you to think about why I did that. I know that if I'm at 47, if I add 3 here, it's going to get me to another friendly number, which is 50. Then I can add a 20, which is going to get me to 12:10. Okay, so notice how I set myself up for success by adding the 3 here to the 47, as opposed to trying to add the 23 minutes to the 47, because I'm most likely going to get a precision error there. And last but not least, we have, after the tour, Alicia's class spends 30 minutes eating at lunch, and after lunch, it takes them 70 minutes to get back to school. What time do they arrive back to school? Again, notice how I'm stopping at 12:10, I added the 30 minutes for lunch first because that's a friendly number, it ends in a 0, and I got to 12:40. Then I added 20 minutes because I know that that's going to get me to the friendly time of 1 o'clock, and then I added 50 minutes to get me to 1:50, so I had the 30 minutes for lunch, plus the 20, plus the 50, which is 70 minutes, to get back to school. Sound good? So again, if you need help, the answer is 9:10, yes, 9:47, 12:10, and 1:50. If you feel uncomfortable with the elapsed time right now, don't stress. You did your best, and that's not something that I would expect for you to perfect at this moment in time. But I hope that me showing you the friendly numbers was helpful. Okay? Awesome. Number 8 says, which model shows 1/4 shaded? Mark all that apply, which tells me as a student that there could be more than one answer. So I'm looking here. I'm writing the answer on the side as 1/2. Slash the trash. I see 1 piece is being used out of 4 pieces total. Go ahead and circle B. 1 piece is being used out of 4 pieces total. Go ahead and circle C. And the last one is actually 3/4 because as we remember, the shaded pieces are the pieces being used or eaten or given, right? So this is 3/4, so you would slash the trash. So the answer for 8 is B and C. Then the last question says, Lynn says that she can find 42 divided by 7 equals something. Using the multiplication sentence, 7 times something equals 42. So as a strong mathematician, of course, I'm going to solve for that missing piece before I even look at my answer choices. So I know that the box is going to equal 6 because I know my math facts. Yeah. 42 divided by 7 equals 6, and 7 times 6 equals 42. So essentially, I'm looking to see if Lynn is correct or not. And based on my observation at the top and my knowledge of math facts, I know that Lynn is correct. So I can slash the trash for A and B, boom, right off the bat. Now, C and D both say that she is correct. So she either is correct because multiplication can be used to solve a division problem, or she's correct because as long as the missing number is an odd number. What does that have to do with division or multiplication? I don't think so. The answer is C. I love it, I love it, I love it. If you are with me still and you're feeling good, give yourself a pat on the back. Maybe don't fully kiss, but coronavirus kiss the brain. All right, so ELA, you should have read only in New Zealand. I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw this title, I was like, boring. And it ended up being so interesting and so awesome. I never even heard of a glowworm before. So that was really cool. I'm gonna Lordy. I'm going to share my jots with you because I think that it might be helpful. So after paragraph 1, I jotted just cave, because that's what I'm learning about. Glowworm. Then I said glowworm caves. I could not help myself. I just wrote, wow, after this paragraph where it talks about how they attract food. I thought that was so cool. And then the last one, I said glowworms' life and how they catch food. That's what I learned about in the last section. In paragraph 5, I learned about how they glow. So not just why they glow, but how they glow with their bioluminescence. And then I talked about, or jotted glowworm grotto. All right, I got this. Come on, let's read. Video teacher, you got this. Okay. So this is a nonfiction text. So your main idea should be what this text taught you and the author's point of view on this text. So I wrote that this text is all about glowworms. I mean, it's in every single paragraph, it's what this text is all about. And then I wrote that the author's point of view is that they're awesome and unique, right? Because they definitely seem different than any other animal that the author has ever written about before. Part A says, why does a glowworm glow? I went back to the text, talked about why they glow and all about how they attract food. So that was my idea. They glow to attract food. So it can lay eggs, so it can stick to the cave ceiling, C, to interest insects. It can eat, absolutely, they're right attracted to that glowy light. And D, to help it see in the dark. It doesn't really need to see because the insects come to them, so the answer is C. Now remember, part B is connected to part A. So you are thinking about how is B connected to the idea of the glowworm attracting the insects to eat. So part B says select one sentence that supports the answer in part A. It attracts itself to the cave ceiling and acts like a fisherman. So I said magic maybe because I'm like, that's literally the act of them catching this insect to eat. B, as the larva or worm hatches, it glows to attract food. Ooh, that's also magic maybe because like that's talking literally about why it glows, right? C, the glowworm sends down a thread, thin, sticky line. I wanted to kind of magic maybe this one, but I felt like it didn't connect enough with the idea of why it glows. I think it skipped right to the literal catching of the insect. And D, the adult insect emerges and the cycle repeats. So I had to go back to the text for this one because I was really deciding between A and B, which I had magic maybes for. And I ended up choosing B because B was the only one that talked about both attracting insects and the fact that it glows. So it's literally talking about the main idea of part A is that it's glowing to attract food, and it talks about how it glows to attract food, not just the fact that it attaches itself to the ceiling and releases that line like a fisherman. So close answer choices. The answer is B. Number 7 says, what is the main idea of this passage? And as strong readers, we already wrote a main idea, which helped us so much with this constructive response, so you should have had to restate an answer that sounded something like, the main idea of the passage is how glowworms live and how they attract food. Something along those lines, make sure that your evidence matches and that your explain brings it all the way back. And last question for ELA says, read the statement from the passage and directions that follow. It attaches itself to the ceiling and acts like a fisherman. So we know that there's some people in our class that are fans of fishing, right? Whether you're a fan or not, you know the act of putting the hook in the water, the line sticking in, right? So it says select 2 sentences, 2, from the passage that best support the statement. So you're looking for 2 pieces of evidence that support the statement. The answers are B and C. The glowworm sends down a thread of sticky line, and they become snagged in the glowworm's sticky lines because those are the only 2 that are connected to the idea of like a fishing line going in the water. Cool, how are we doing? A little stretch, roll your shoulders back, neck side to side, deep breath, maybe get some water, whatever you need, because we're diving into math stories. And also feel free to always pause the video if you need a little break, water break, anything, because you can always come back to it. And that's the beauty of virtual teaching. So I know we're not allowed to say the word easy in our classroom, and nor are we allowed to say it on this video. So if I had a magnet, I would move mine because I just said it. But this math story I felt was quite simple for our math ability in our class. Let me know if you felt differently. But I read the question, and it says, make sure you're looking at your math story now. Give you a couple seconds to get it out. Taylor bought 6 packs of trading cards with 4 cards in each pack. How many cards did he buy? So I wrote down what I'm solving for. How many cards did he buy? And then I read it again because I was like, I feel like I know the answer already. Taylor bought 6 packs of trading cards with 4 cards in each pack. How many cards did he buy? So in order to make sure that I'm reading this correctly, I'm making a mind movie, I'm thinking about what this means, and then I'm going to draw a model first because that always helps me visualize what's happening in the story. So as you can see here, I drew the 6 packs with 4 in each pack, and then I did addition to get my first answer. So I did 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 plus 4 is 12, 12 plus 4 is 16, 16 plus 4 is 20, 20 plus 4 is 24, and so my answer is 24. I used multiplication because I know my math facts to do the equation on the side. 6 groups of 4 equals 24, so my answer is 24 cards, and the equation to match is 6 groups of 24. 6 groups of 4 equals 24. We got this? So that's all the academics for today. I hope that it went well. If you are still confused about anything, make sure that you maybe research a little bit. Go on YouTube, look up standard algorithm help if you need that. Look up elapsed time work if you need that, right? So as you're going through the work that, no, it's not required, but the work that I gave you and that I'm talking about on these YouTube videos, if things are confusing to you, obviously you can reach out to me from 4 to 5 via email, but you can also look up videos. I mean, explore the world of the internet while we have to be home and inside. So same as yesterday, if you are done here and you want to stop the video, you may, but I'm going to be reading a little bit of Tales of Despero, a little bit each day. So if you didn't watch the reading from yesterday, you might want to go to yesterday's video from March 16th and listen to the story from there so that you're not confused, because we did read into book 2 with Chiaroscuro and Roscaro and the rat and his life. So that's where we are now. So if you missed yesterday, you might be a little bit confused. But if you're staying with me, get cozy, get comfy, because we are going to read. Oh, this lighting is terrible. I need to figure out. Let's see if this is better. Kind of. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Still here. Alright, get cozy. We're about to read. Chapter 17, Small Comforts. Not long after this conversation between Botticelli and Roscaro, a prisoner did arrive. The dungeon door slammed and the two rats watched a big man being led by a king's soldier down the stairs into the dungeon. "Excellent," whispered Botticelli. "This one is yours." Roscaro looked at the man closely. "I will make him suffer," said the rat. But as he stared up at the man, the door to the dungeon was suddenly flung open, and a thick and brilliant shaft of an afternoon light cut into the dark dungeon. "Ugh," said Botticelli. He covered his eyes with one paw. Roscaro, however, stared directly into the light. Reader, this is important. The rat called Chiaroscuro did not look away. He let the light from the upstairs world enter him and fill him. He gasped aloud with the wonder of it. "Give him his small comforts," shouted a voice at the top of the stairs, and a red cloth was thrown into the light. The cloth hung suspended for a moment, bright red and glowing. And then the door was slammed shut again, and the light disappeared, and the cloth fell to the floor. It was Gregory, the jailer, who bent to pick it up. "Go on," said the old man as he held out the cloth to the prisoner. "Take it. You'll need every bit of last warmth down there." And so the prisoner took the cloth and draped it around his shoulders as if it were a cloak. And the soldier of the king said, "Right then, Gregory, he's all yours." And the soldier turned and went back up the steps and opened the door to the outside world, and some small light leaked in before he closed the door behind him. Okay, so I'm starting to see a connection between book 1 with Despero and book 2 with Roscaro, right? So we have Despero the mouse that was thrown into the dungeon for interacting with humans in the castle. Then we flipped immediately to book 2 with Roscaro the rat, who's fantasizing about light, who is being kind of hyped up by his other rats to make prisoners suffer, etc. And we're seeing that Gregory is the similar character between the two. So I'm wondering how else they're connected. Let's see. "Did you see that?" Roscaro said to Botticelli. "Hideously ugly," said Botticelli. "Ridiculous. What can they possibly mean by letting all that light in at once? Don't they know that is a dungeon?" "It was so beautiful," said Roscaro. "No," said Botticelli. "No." He looked at Roscaro the rat intently. "Not beautiful. No." "I must see more light. I must see all of it," said Roscaro. "I must go upstairs." Botticelli sighed. "Who cares about the light? Your obsession with light is tiresome. Listen, we are rats. Rats! We don't like light. We are about darkness. We are about suffering." "But," said Roscaro, "upstairs." "No buts," said Botticelli. "No buts. None. Rats do not go upstairs. Upstairs is the domain of mice." Ooh. He took the locket from around his neck. "What?" he said, swinging it back and forth. "Is this rope made of whiskers. The whiskers of who? Mice. Ooh, it's creepy. Exactly. And who lives upstairs? Mice. Exactly. Mice. Botticelli turned his head and spat on the floor. Mice are nothing but little packages of bones, afraid of everything. They are despicable, laughable, the opposite of everything a rat would strive to be. Do you want to live in their world? Roscoe looked up, past Botticelli, to the delicious silver of light that shone out from underneath the door. He said nothing. Listen, said Botticelli, this is what you should do. Go and torture the prisoner. Go and take the red cloth from him. The cloth will satisfy your craving for something from that world, but do not go up into the light. You will regret it. As he spoke, the locket swung back and forth, back and forth. You do not belong in that world. You are a rat. A rat. Say it with me. A rat, said Roscoe. Ah, but you are cheating. You must say, I am a rat, said Botticelli, smiling a slow smile at Roscoe. I am a rat, said Roscoe. Again, said Botticelli, swinging his locket. I am a rat. Exactly, said Botticelli. A rat is a rat is a rat. End of story. World without end. Amen. Yes, said Roscoe. Amen, I am a rat. He closed his eyes. He saw again the red cloth spinning against the backdrop of gold. And he told himself, reader, that it was the cloth that he desired, and not the light. Wow, things are getting deep in the rat dungeon. Okay, so I know I said that this video was going to be shorter than yesterday. It wasn't, so I need to figure out how to do that. But I guess it's like 4 minutes shorter if I go right now. But get some movement in today, get some healthy fruits and vegetables, drink lots of water, think about what you're grateful for. I would do anything to be in the classroom with you guys, but this is the next best thing. So if you watched up to this point, you're a real one. You're the OG. And let me know that you watched it all the way to here. And any feedback, let me know. Love you all. I hope you have a great Tuesday, and I'll see you tomorrow. Well, I'll video tomorrow and send it to you. Bye.